Yesterday, STARKNET confirmed that they will be doing an airdrop. However, many people have been left confused around the eligibility and the backlash that has been going around on social media. So in today's video, we're going to cover everything that you need to know about this airdrop. If you do enjoy the video, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. So for those who are unsure, we'll do a very quick overview of what STARKNET actually is. And at its simplest form, it's just another layer 2 solution on Ethereum. So if we check out the website here and we just scroll down, we can see a very simple statement underneath scalability and integrity, which implies that STARKNET operates as a layer 2, providing scale and Ethereum level security by producing Stark proofs off-chain and then sending those proofs on-chain. So another L2 similar to the likes of Arbitrum or ZK Sync. Now if we scroll back to the top of the website, we can see a couple of different stats, and these three are the ones that catch my eye in terms of the TVL being at almost 180 million, active accounts at 84k, and the cumulative number of transactions being at 95 million. So it's safe to say that STARKNET definitely isn't a small L2, which leads into the topic of the airdrop and how much is actually being dropped to users. Yesterday, the STARKNET team confirmed on Twitter that this airdrop would be going ahead, and they shared some links for people to check out the eligibility criteria and also to look if their wallets are in fact eligible, which is what most people are obviously interested in. So we'll move on to the website now and we'll go through all of this and find out more. So when it comes to the eligibility criteria, there are a number of different ways you can be eligible, but this is where the disappointment starts. So when it comes to STARKNET users, the community and developers, you see this date quite frequently, November 15th of 2023. Now, STARKNET users didn't have to do too many transactions. It didn't have to be a huge amount of dollar value, but it had to be before November 15th of 2023. And same for those developers, they had to be involved before that date. Now, people who are airdrop farming just to receive tokens are obviously going to be cut out of this if they've only just started recently, when airdrop farming and that narrative has picked up towards the end of 2023 and early 2024. But then also people who are genuinely bullish on the STARKNET ecosystem and the L2 itself aren't going to be eligible for this if they've only just recently discovered it. So that's where the disappointment starts, because some people feel a little bit hard done by. Now, when we go down and have a look at other ways you can be eligible, you've got StarkX users, but you had to be using the app at least 8 times before June 1st, 2022. So that was way in the middle of the bear market, and of course a lot of people are likely not going to be eligible for that. And when it comes to Ethereum, you've got the stakers. This is the most important one for me, because if you've been staking Ethereum, which is quite common, then you might feel like you're lucky. However, it had to be before the merge, which was on September 15th, 2022. So again, people who've just started to stake more recently might miss the cut there. With developers, that date of November 15th returns, which we can see here. So again, that really is quite developer centric anyway, but generally speaking, it's a reoccurring date that we keep seeing. And then again, GitHub developers, November 15th of 2023. So I think the story here is that a lot of people who have been airdrop farming more recently are not going to receive the STARKNET airdrop, and that is exactly where the disappointment comes from. Now, if we scroll a little bit further down, you can actually check here to see if you are eligible. So it's very simple to do. You don't actually have to connect a wallet. You can just paste the address. So I've just picked up a random address off Etherscan as an example. Sorry if I've doxed your wallet here. Let's see if they're eligible anyway. So we click go, and this wallet unfortunately wasn't eligible, but that's as simple as it is. At this point, you don't have to claim or anything. The token obviously isn't live, but it's just preparing yourself to know if you are eligible or not. And for the people out there who have genuinely received the STARKNET airdrop and have not been left disappointed, you might be wondering how big this airdrop actually will be, and it is set up to be a pretty big L2. Now, if we look at this article from CoinDesk here, we can see that STARKNET's STRK could debut with a market cap of over $1 billion, according to some pre-launch futures markets. Now we can see that STARKNET is set to launch its native token with an airdrop of 728 million coins on Feb 20th. And if we scroll down here, we can see that the current price at the time of this video, at the time of this article, is that Stark tokens pre-market are trading at around $1.65 ahead of the launch in 5 days time, which would leave the market cap at around a 1.2 billion valuation. So it's interesting to see that obviously people can take a rough estimation of how much their tokens will be worth based on the current pre-market price, but of course that can change closer to launch, and I'm expecting plenty of volatility and volume when the token launches itself next week. And now we'll discuss the backlash around the STARKNET project. So of course, many people, as we've just mentioned, have been left disappointed and even angry about not receiving tokens because of that eligibility criteria. Now, if we look at this article here, there is a counter argument to this, because we can see that this article was released on October 5th, 2021, showing that STARKNET is coming to mainnet. So STARKNET has been around for a number of years. It was building and it was launched during the bear market, but they decided to hold back with their token launch, probably for more favorable market conditions. So when it comes to airdrop farming, people will argue, community members will argue, that this was for the core community, the true believers, and not those just looking for some free tokens, which is a completely reasonable argument. You know, people who have actually supported the project are the ones getting rewarded from day one. So I completely get that. However, the counter argument to that now is the shadiness of the STARKNET team. So we have a look at this tweet from Loopify here. We can see that STARKNET launched their token 2 years ago on chain, but it was basically impossible to trade. So technically speaking, the token generation event was 2 years ago. Now that means 2 months after the launch, 13% of tokens will be unlocked for investors. Now, if you've been watching my price prediction videos recently, especially around new coins, you'll know that we always look at the vesting terms for the team and for the big investors, because they get a huge amount of tokens, and rightly so, that's fine, but they come with cliff periods and they come with slow vesting terms. So a lot of the time we see teams not receive any tokens for at least 12 months, if not longer, and usually a very similar story with the investors. However, they've done a very sly thing here, I would say, in my opinion, because they've basically made an untradeable coin in the depths of the bear market, even just before the bear market has begun, knowing full well when the bull market comes and the hype, the speculation, the noise is there, they will have tokens at a much quicker date, which will allow them to sell and take profit at a much earlier stage than what a team usually would be able to do so. So this is something that we haven't really seen before, and a lot of people have been took back by this, and as Loopify says here, never a boring day in crypto, because you know, that is just an unethical thing to do for many people. But we don't want to leave this video on a negative note. So the next question is, what is going to be the next quote unquote blue chip airdrop? And for me, I think there is a good chance that this could be another L2, which is ZK Sync. Now, in terms of the eligibility criteria and stuff like that, again, them dates could be backtraced, and that would leave many people disappointed once more. I've experienced this personally with Arbitrum back in March of 2023, so it isn't completely ruled out. However, we can only do our best, we can only increase our chances and try and do what we can to receive an airdrop. So what I did yesterday was I shared, on the back of all this STARKNET information, I shared a thread on Twitter, I'll leave the link in the description, basically exploring different ways that you can get ZK Sync exposure. This is through using their native bridge, for example, and other dApps within their ecosystem, and then some other applications or projects which are doing airdrops themselves but have actually teamed up with ZK Sync or offered alternative ways of getting exposure to ZK Sync. So these are the likes of ZeroLend and the Gravity Exchange. So like I said, I'll leave the link in the description for that. You can go and check that out if you wish, but I just didn't want to leave this video on such a sour note after the disappointment of the STARKNET airdrop. So that is all for today's video. Hopefully you did receive the STARKNET airdrop. If you didn't, don't be too disappointed. It does happen. It is crypto after all. When we are trying to get involved in these airdrops, it is a gamble, and a lot of the time we're just placing our best guesses to receive an airdrop. So there'll always be another airdrop, keep going. Trust me, don't give up at this point. It's going to happen, and it will probably happen again. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about the whole Starknet situation in the comments. But with that said, please do trade safe, invest safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.